Welcome back, you wonderful people, to another episode of Chatted Up Sports. This is, gentlemen, the last Feel Good Friday of 2025 without football. I think that deserves 3 claps one time. On the docket today, we're going to have some fun. First thing we're going to cover, the SEC is going a 9-game schedule. We're not going to spend too much time. We just want to cover it briefly. Then I made the boys fill out playoff brackets. We all picked 12 teams. We all went through them. We picked a winner. And we're going to see how chaotic this can get as some people try to justify teams over other teams. But before we do that, boys, we got to run some theme music. And like always, joining me in the foundation, the wonderful Chase and Drew.
What's up, big dog?
How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Are y'all ready for today?
It's time.
How many?
I was wondering if we could ever get here to because you kind of dwindle it down. Like we have the over-unders, we got all these little things leading up, conference tournaments. Now we have the true blue playoff bracket that we've been sitting here probably for the last 45 minutes figuring out, can this realistically happen?
Yeah. How many teams have you second guessed? Besides, you can say all of them if you want to.
All of them when it comes to seeding, about 5 to get in.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that's fair. About half the bracket. My G5, man, I don't know. I went to some really weird places this week trying to track down this G5 team. Where I landed is it's not solid ground by any means, but
I won't spoil it, but I've seen the pick, and I'm excited to hear you explain this. So it's gonna be fun. I'll be honest. I don't think you gave this as much thought as you did if you didn't second guess at least every team you put in there. Just for a second, be like, I don't know. We'll see. But joining us from the Foundation North, our boy. Some call him Malcolm. Some call him Miggy. Most call him Mr. Harris. How you doing, brother?
Hey, it's good to see you, brother. What an intro. What a great day to be on Chatted Up Sports, and excited, man. Y'all better look out for your boy, and more details on that.
Hey, I see what you did there. I see what you did there with the hat. That was clean.
Keep it classy, brother.
I appreciate it. Yeah, man. It's some stuff happening in my life, and it's all good up here, man, in Chattanooga North. But you know how it goes.
Give it time.
Yeah. Well, boys, let's kick off with some news real quick. Announcing today, because it's Thursday technically, the SEC and Greg Sankey have officially declared that they are moving to 9 conference games. This felt like a move, in my opinion, that was inevitable, with the rest of the college football world being like, hey, you don't get enough validation for not playing 9 conference games, even though Alabama and Georgia and South Carolina and all these other teams schedule these out-of-conference games. Bama's playing Washington or Wisconsin this year. Clemson plays South Carolina every year. Georgia plays Georgia Tech every year. Florida plays Florida State every year. So, yeah, you weren't technically playing 9 conference games. You were playing 9 Power 4 opponents. Greg Sankey said something that was very intriguing to me. He mentioned that schools will also have to schedule a quality out-of-conference opponent. I'm curious what he means by quality. Do you want them to just go schedule like Minnesota? I mean, no disrespect to Minnesota and PJ Fleck, row the boat, but are you going to get the same kind of? Is the SEC going to incentivize you if you're Oklahoma and you're like, hey, Greg, we want to go play Purdue this year in 28, 27, do a home and home with Purdue? He'll be like, well, why don't you go play Michigan? And on top of that, we're going to make you play an extra conference game.
Feels a little.
I'm not sure the SEC would self-sabotage that much, and if they did, it feels like there might be some team and coach pushback, maybe even higher up pushback from the higher levels of these colleges, which are basically run like professional organizations now. You didn't have to worry about a NIL general manager 5 years ago. Well, now that's a thing, and that's definitely something to take under consideration. So when he says quality, I take that to mean power 4.
Just Power 4. Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of feel the same way.
Or maybe like high level group of 5, which that gets really into the weeds because like what's the difference between Tulane and New Mexico State?
Yeah.
But if you're just kind of looking at it from one of these higher up teams like a Texas or an Alabama or a Georgia, but do you really think that they would make them schedule a ranked opponent? Like, I think that would hurt the overall brand of the SEC, especially moving to where you're getting into just a battle week in and week out with a 9-game conference
you're
schedule.
You're getting really close to what the 2020 season was, where it was just 10 conference games straight. And I don't know if we'll ever get to that world.
Hope not.
Because what it spells is if you do is a lot of these smaller programs that get these big checks, that keeps their athletic department afloat. So like you kind of need those tune-up games. But another thing I'm intrigued about, and of course this comes on the heels of the playoff committee's announcement on Wednesday saying that they're going to start reevaluating and using new tools to evaluate strength of schedule. So of course the SEC isn't just doing this to do it. They're like, oh, if you're actually going to evaluate strength of schedule and truly do it, then we'll go to 9 conference games. Because the SEC, Greg Sankey in the office, probably feel like Alabama got screwed versus SMU last year, making it playoffs. That's just one case. But you could probably throw out, that's where their mind's at when they're like, okay, if you're going to take this serious, we'll go to 9. And I'm curious about, I know we talked about it briefly on pre-show, what's going to happen to the schools like specifically Florida, South Carolina, and Georgia that play an ACC rival every year? Like that's a Power 4 opponent that you play you're not getting out of that game. Clemson, South Carolina is going to not suddenly stop playing Clemson so they can go schedule Michigan State. They don't, why would you do that? Why would you risk losing that? So I think, and that disproportionately affects teams in your conference as opposed to like, say, Oklahoma or Texas A&M, who it's like, hey, your rivals are league teams. Unless Texas A&M is going to randomly start playing Texas Tech, and we're going to do this whole Texas Bowl. I don't think the league is going to make schools schedule that what would be an 11th game for some of these teams that play ACC rival opponents or other conference rival opponents. But what do y'all think?
I do feel like that's a good point as far as they're not going to rush them to play Michigan. But I also am a believer that some of this will create some parity when it comes to the financials nowadays with NIL and whatnot. Transfer portal, like if you believe in the Texas Tech is a good example. Like if you believe there's going to be just a mercenary year, they're going to pay a ton of people and they'll be good in 1 year or 2 years, then okay, it's a new team in the conference tournament. It's a new team that's going to be in the mix. Sweet. We can keep adding those. And I just don't know how good Minnesota's ever going to be. Like, I don't know how good Rutgers can really build up to be. Like, maybe you can, but you can talk yourself into it, being like, well, that's a good quality opponent. We're going up to Rutgers. So I don't know.
A lot of people had early season Alabama at Wisconsin last year circled as a potential loss for Alabama. I mean, there was a lot made of that game on the outside looking in, especially in the betting markets. I mean, that was one of the hottest tickets. Was new Alabama, like they're not going to be able to handle this. This is a new NIL era in college football. Like Wisconsin's as good as anybody, and Alabama beat the brakes off of that Wisconsin team, and they're going to do the same thing this year. And I think, but that's the thing. In my mind, that counts as a quality opponent for Alabama because Wisconsin was given legitimate credibility to win that game on their home field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not just that. It's also these schedules are made, years in advance. Not that they need to be, but like Wisconsin and Alabama probably agreed to play that game in like 2021.
I guarantee. I'm pretty sure it was like 21, 2022.
Yeah, so you're trying, like you can only do so much as an AD when you schedule this game. You have no idea how good Wisconsin's actually going to be.
No idea.
Like you have no idea. Like when Georgia plays Ohio State in a few years, they open up. You have they're probably both going to be pretty good, but you have no idea what they're going to be like the previous year, what they're going to be losing, what they're going to be bringing in. Like you get a little bit more of you feel a little bit too better about programs like that. But like specifically when Alabama scheduled Florida State, they didn't expect Florida State to be coming off of a 2-10 season.
No.
And people be wondering like, hey, is this program going to fall off the rails?
Yeah. Mickey?
I think it's all about, at the end of the day, right? Revenue generation, right? And I think you're going to see programs become really creative with this, but schedule in a way that makes sense for everybody. So, say, for example, Tennessee, right? If they need to schedule a quality opponent, it's going to be like, all right, let's just take Virginia Tech, for example. All right. And let's do a Battle Bristol 2.0. Or, all right, if you have let's just say Texas, let's use Oklahoma. Like, hey, we haven't done the Battle of Bedlam in a while. This would be really good for our fans. Let's schedule Oklahoma State and just make that like a reoccurring theme so that you're always scheduling something that's out of conference, but you have like a true test according to what is being kind of outlaid by the College Football Playoff Committee. That's what I think is going to happen. It does suck for these schools, like for example, like in Tennessee, for example, the UT system. UT Martin, UTC. These schools they look forward to playing Tennessee because A, it gets exposure to their fans. B, it also is a cheaper ticket for Tennessee faithful, so they can get in and take the kids. Like you can't take the kids to a Georgia game or a Florida game nowadays. It's really hard financially. And then also the paycheck, right? Like UT Martin or UTC is paid upwards of $1 million to come and
Helps. It helps those
get
bills,
told by
baby.
Big Brother. Yeah.
That is cool. That is a good way to think about it. It would be nice to like bring back Bedlam. Like that's a nice touch to bring that back. Like that.
Yeah.
We'll build new rivalries that way. It's like, dude, I want to know, like, especially if it works out good, it's like, hey, let's get this back. Let's get this rolling. It's better for everybody.
For sure. And then I think you also get like rematches of like championship games. Like I'm thinking Tennessee, Nebraska. I'm thinking, these real good rivalry games or brand on brand games for teams that like are kind of in the same spot, and I think it's good for college football, but also if we're gonna do it, the SEC, it's a bloodbath. Like 9 SEC games, we are trending to a fully SEC schedule with one tune-up game and one major out of conference game. That's what it's gonna look like.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's take a quick timeout, full timeout from the episode here. And let's talk a little bit about our sponsors. A local Chattanooga staple since 2016, Barra's Cabinet Refinishing has been your go-to spot for custom cabinets in the scenic city, with owner Alan Barra having 25 years of experience. From cabinet refinishing that breathes new life into your existing cabinetry to cabinet refacing and modifications that transform and optimize your space. The people over at Barra's simply deliver the goods, just like your boy Kirby Smart, Joseph, on a Saturday, as they give exceptional results tailored to your exact needs. So, for a winning team that's always got your back in cabinetry, trust Barra's, the official sponsor of Chatted Up Sports. Head over to their website, barrascabinetrefinishing.com, to get your free estimate today. And if you mention Chatted Up Sports, our guy Alan will hook you up with a 5% off your job. Do it now. Thank us later. Barra's Cabinet Refinishing, the official cabinets of Chatted Up Sports.
All right, Joseph, let's get to the good stuff, buddy.
All right, boys. Well, with this being the last Friday of the year without football, what a better time to debut our playoff brackets. I gave this some thought, and I'm kind of like you, Drew. The G5 team was a little tough. I'm kind of going on a little bit of I wouldn't say a homer pick because I don't have any emotional attachment to this team, but I do like their head coach, and I think he'll eventually be a Power 5 guy. So without further ado, man, let's
bring it up. Bring up the bracket,
it, baby.
Look at that.
Show the world.
Oh man, here we
pretty.
go. So these are my playoff picks. My first round, my top 4 seeds are Alabama with the 1, Clemson with the 2, Georgia with the 4, or Oregon with the 3, and Georgia with the 4. How I've got this shaken out is I've got Georgia and Alabama in my SEC championship game. I think if you make that game, you're getting a top 4 seed, unless you're just like 9-3 and the SEC's been true utter chaos. Because they don't want to penalize like conference championship participants. So I had Bama beating Georgia. That to me gives Bama the 1 seed, even if they are like don't have as good of a record as Clemson. I think winning the SEC and playing a harder schedule, if they're really going to stay attuned to these the strength of schedule metrics, that'll give Alabama the 1 seed. Clemson, the 2 seed, winning the ACC. Oregon is my Big Ten title champ, the 3 seed. And my 5th seed is the Big Ten runner-up in Ohio State. 6th seed is the SEC team just on the outside of the conference championship game in Texas. 7th seed is the Big Ten just on the outside of the title game in Penn State. My 8th seed is Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame probably 10-2, sitting around there, and they don't play a conference championship game, so they don't have that chance to kind of bolster themselves a little bit at the end of the season. My Big 12 title champion, Iowa State, at 9. 10, I've got LSU as the team that's kind of on the outside. Like, they were eliminated from the SEC title contention a little bit earlier than Texas, but they're still a really good team, still had a really good season. Number 11 is Nebraska. Nebraska's in the same position as LSU, just on the Big Ten side. I like Dylan Raiola in year 2. I like the addition of Dane Key. I think Nebraska's going to be pretty good this year. I think the schedule kind of shakes out well for them. And then my 12th seed, boys, is Tulane. Representing the G5. Give me John Summerall and the boys. I know they lost Darian Mensah to Duke. I know they lost the running back to Oregon. But picking up Jake Retzlaff was really good for them. And I think John Summerall and the boys will have a pretty good G5 season. I'm not buying the Boise State hype yet. You know, you had a really good year last year. I think Ashton Genty's going to be a big loss. But, yeah, that's my playoff bracket. I've got, in the second round, I got Ohio State and Georgia. Georgia beating Ohio State. I've got Alabama, Notre Dame. Alabama beating Notre Dame. Texas and Oregon. Texas beating Oregon. Penn State and Clemson. I got Penn State beating Clemson. I've got, in the third round, Georgia and Alabama for the third time this year. And I've got Alabama winning that one. In the Texas and Penn State, I've got Texas. And then in the championship game, I've got Alabama and Texas. And I got Alabama winning it all.
Must have been real hard.
Yeah, I was going to say that's got to hurt your soul.
Not really.
Really?
But if
No,
this
it
actually
really-
happened, though,
I mean, if this actually, I mean,
that's the way.
so
I think about it.
here's the trade-off is like, and it's listen, I will hedge my fandom I will hedge my emotional state every time Georgia plays Alabama. I will bet on Alabama. So, because I'm hedging my emotional state. And I just, man, like if I took my bias out, yeah, I am a Georgia fan, but like I'm going to look at this objectively. Alabama is bringing back one of the best teams in college football. Their biggest question mark, in my opinion, is Ty Simpson. And he doesn't even really have to be. I feel about Ty Simpson kind of the way I feel about Will Howard. Now, Will Howard had way more like proven, had played football, had seen a lot of the game, but I feel very similar about this Alabama team to the way I felt last year for Ohio State, where it's like Will Howard doesn't even have to be a superstar. He just has to be efficient and good enough, because the rest of that roster is insane. That's how I feel about Alabama this year. I think Ty Simpson doesn't have to be a superstar. Doesn't have to throw out. He doesn't have to have a Joe Burrow year. He just has to be efficient, smart with the football, and play in the system that Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer designed for him.
That's it.
He needs to be 75% of Michael Penix.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking like, I think like a 63% completion guy, 3,500 yards, 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. Like, I think that'll.
You just got to be real
Like,
solid. Give it,
yeah,
and get it to the talent. Throw it to the talent. Let them catch it. See bye.
don't try to do too much.
No,
So
you're gonna have to make some big throws. Like you will have to
Yeah.
make a few big throws because you're gonna be playing close games. Like,
Yep.
If he connects on those, doesn't have to be every time. It's not gonna happen every time. It's college football.
Yep.
But damn.
And I don't think they're going to be unscathed either. I don't think Alabama's going undefeated. But I think if you get this late in the season and Alabama plays these big games and they get this far, that roster will take over.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we'll get. I feel like this is gonna be very similar to a lot of people.
yeah, I've seen several people pick Alabama.
We're not. Yeah, we're all just. Spoiler alert: we're all not that far off.
Yeah, I've seen several people pick Clemson. I don't disagree with the Clemson picks at all. I don't disagree with the Penn State picks, even though like I'm just in prove it mode with James Franklin. We've talked about this, not to rehash that, but when I look at the roster up and down, I just think this Alabama team is going to be incredible.
Yeah.
So
Me too. Best talent in it's a very talented year with like, I feel like every other position group has very high level of talent and shown ability, where these quarterbacks are all coming in like slightly unproven. We kind of know what we're getting, kind of not.
Yeah.
But if they can figure it out or just be pretty good and establish themselves, then these teams are going to be so damn good.
Yeah.
So damn good.
that's my bracket, gentlemen.
I love it. I love it. You're probably right.
We'll see. We'll see.
Who you want next?
Chase.
All right, bring it up. I've questioned this most of my day. Can you bring up the big board? Can you bring it the larger screen?
Not a lot of work getting done today, huh?
No, there was some slow times and I took advantage of those. All right, start down. I believe that this Clemson team is going to go undefeated. I don't know what's brought it on me even more. But again, I've just bought into this wide receiver group. I think is going to be just taking huge leaps. That's how it has to get done. Like, they have to be great. I think there's some gaps in Clemson, but I also think they have such high-end talent. They might have 2 defensive edge rushers, linebackers that go in the top 10. They're going to have Cade, who I really believe in. Used to be like one of those guys. Cade's too small. Cade's just not really there. And that comes from a Tennessee bias. Like, I was like, if Joe Milton and that Tennessee team can beat the hell out of you like that, you can't be that good. Proved that wrong last year. Thought he really turned it around. I think he's going to have a better offensive line. And again, I'm really harping on this wide receiver group. It's special. I think. They're young. They're all getting one more year. Something about Dabo. I don't love their like ACC opponents this year. It's not like, and if you get out, especially the South Carolina game and the LSU, you book in the SEC year, you get those 2 wins. You're probably your 2 toughest opponents. I think they play Georgia Tech in the ACC championship. That's why I have them in there as well. But these SEC games were very hard for me. I've got in the over-under pod, I had Ole Miss beating out Georgia, but they're going to squeak in. I actually think Georgia winds up getting a 3-loss bid here because their only losses are to very, very high-ranked teams. I think we have the Alabama-Texas matchup in the SEC title game, and that's why I have the Alabama over Texas, but Texas squeaks in as your first SEC loser, but we're pounded in here. I believe that those 2 teams are so talented. Like the Alabama-Texas stuff, it's just like, as great as Georgia is, especially on the defensive side. Did you guys take a peek at the first team list in the SEC?
No.
Oh, yeah. The SEC poll came out. And it was like all the first team, second team, third team guys. There's a lot of Bulldogs on that defensive side, brother. There's a lot. It's kind of like, it's like abnormal, especially
Lots
in the
of
SEC. It's crazy. But as somebody that's just not full-on belief yet in the Georgia offense, I still think they get in with 3 losses. So to go through, first round matchup, we'll start at the bottom, go up. Baylor is my only Big 12 team. I think they're going to be fun. I think this is going to be just a wild, crazy Big 12 again. No shocker. We discussed it in the last pod. Baylor wins it. 2 losses. They get in. They beat Utah. And we talked about it beforehand. I just think the guys convinced me that a 2-loss Big 12 team is getting a 10 seed, right? Like that's kind of what we're on the fence about here. Like that's where you're at. Ole Miss, I think they get in with 9 or 10 here. Couldn't get the Baylor offense past Ole Miss there. So Ole Miss moves on versus Bama. Georgia Tech, as much as I think I would love that story, I just don't think the physicality can keep going for 13 games. Ohio State beats them. Georgia, Illinois. Illinois is actually who I had losing in the Big 12 or the Big 10 title game versus Penn State. That's why Penn State's a 3. Illinois sneaks in here, but I think they lose pretty badly to Penn State in the championship game. It's like, well, they're this year's Indiana. I think their only loss to Ohio State which I put here because I think Ohio State has to lose to somebody, but I think they lose to Penn State. And so I think they're just going to look at that resume and be like, dude, Ohio State beat this team or that team, and they're just going to look better. So you're like, okay, Illinois just played a very easy schedule. Put them at the 9. They're losing to Georgia. I think that'll just be a beatdown game. Great year for Altmaier. I just like that team a lot. I think the schedule's cake. The Memphis Tigers. Big fan of them. I think they're 10 wins in the last 2 seasons. Let's keep it rolling. But you're losing to the Ducks. We're going to have the media dream, I believe, going in here to the Elite Eight. Oregon, love the story. Dan Lanning's my favorite coach in college football. Him and Josh Heupel, love him dearly, but Dan Lanning would be my coach who I'd want to go play for right now. But they're going to lose to Arch Manning. They're going to lose. And I think that backfield for Texas, if they can stay healthy, is going to run all over them. It's just a big believer in the Texas talent. And as crazy as I think the year's going to be, I think we're going to have some upsets. I think that's why, like, Ohio State's going to have to lose to somebody random. Oregon's going to have to lose to somebody random. I think that could be like a Washington at Washington of the year. Things are going to happen for this to actually happen, for my playoff prediction to happen. But I still think we get a relatively chalky as far as brands go. Texas, Clemson, W, big believers. Think they keep it rolling. Ohio State, Penn State. Ohio State gets them twice, or gets them once in the regular season. Can't get them twice. Ohio State moves on. That storyline's going to be just terrible. Just terrible. You finally get over the hump, but you can't do it again. That's going to break a lot of people's hearts up in the great state of Pennsylvania. Ole Miss, Bama. Bama's too talented. Bama beats Ohio State. Too talented. I think Sain's going to be a nice quarterback, but I think you're going to see a little drop off. You're like, man, we lost too much to get past this again. That juggernaut team was incredible. I think this Clemson Texas team is going to be so fun, dude. So fun. I think that might be, game of the year potential here. I think it might actually be like one of those very high scoring. You're going to get some nasty sacks and picks, but I think there's going to be so many possessions, so many guys rolling on offense that might be like a 49-42 type game, late touchdown drive by Cade, gets the W. But to round it all out, Alabama is going to win this because I do think Alabama is the same thing as Ohio State. They might lose to Georgia early. That's why I have Georgia in this. I think that Georgia sneaks that one out. And they finally get over that hump, but Alabama is just going to roll through it after that. And if they're going to go through that gauntlet, they're so talented. And you said it the best, Joseph. Like, dude, Todd just has to be pretty good. Get it to maybe one of the best wide receiver rooms in the country, if not the best. And I think it's going to be a good story for Dabo. I think that's going to go put him back into a place that I don't really love. Not a huge fan of Dabo, but he is a damn good coach. He's recruited talent. I think it's going to show. NIL doesn't rule it all. I can recruit. I can still do that. I can establish players in my program. And so we're going to have the battle of what felt like the same favorites we had for the last 10 years in a lot of categories.
The late 2010s.
Yeah.
Clemson, Alabama all over again.
Yep. And we're going to see more talent, and we're going to see just a group of wide receivers, I think, but I think that Alabama's going to be a little bit better. I think it'll be a little bit better. And Alabama's my champion as much as it hurts my soul. This is not what I want, but I do think that Elite Eight and Final Four would be like, college football is going to make so much money, it's going to be gross on those teams.
Dude. Yeah. Those Elite Eight matchups, specifically Clemson, Georgia, because that's like an old school rivalry.
Yeah.
Penn State, Ohio State, that one might be your least viewed just because it's like, hey, we see this every year, depending on how Penn State looks throughout the season. Oregon, Texas would be electric, I think.
Same.
I think Oregon, Texas would be absolutely incredible.
Two teams that'll never see each other again.
Yeah, they won't play much.
They won't. They're not going to schedule each other. There's never going to be.
There'll only be playoff games, probably.
Awesome uni. What y'all thought on the uni part of that game?
Oh, dude. If Texas is
Malcolm back up.
Oh,
I can't see. Sorry.
Where'd he go?
I just can't see. There
You're
he is.
You're good. If Texas comes out in the all whites and Oregon's rocking like the
I see like the gray combination.
Yeah.
Like the gray jerseys
like
with
green.
Really green jersey.
Yeah, like green jersey and like gray pants.
Yeah.
With like the black helmet.
Yeah.
That
are-
versus the all whites from Texas would
gotta,
be.
You got to get some of those silver duck feathers in the
Oh
helmet.
Yes,
yeah,
I
the
do love
black, the
those.
black with the silver feather.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be an all-time
they go-
uniform matchup.
Go ahead, Miggy.
No, I was gonna say I think that they go like a homage to the past. You guys remember the Auburn National Championship unis?
No, refresh the memory.
It was
Oh,
like a
oh,
highlighter. You
Yeah.
guys remember?
Oh, yeah.
the bright yellows, right?
Yeah, I
Wasn't
think
it?
they
Yeah.
do that. Or
Ooh, that'd be so
the notorious Joey Harrington throwbacks, so like the mustard yellow, that green. You guys know.
Oh, yeah. See, that's where I thought you were
Yeah.
going, was like that old school green. Like they do
I
some
think
like
they either do
retrofit.
that or they go. Yeah, for sure, dude, for sure.
That's nasty. I love those greens.
Yeah,
Biggie, I mean, y'all remember like we had people like in Ray County that were like, dude, we've already got green. I could become an Oregon fan. I remember like we had everybody. It was so cool back then
Mhm.
because they were so far ahead of everybody else, like in the style category.
oh yeah.
Because we had, I mean, especially early 2000s, Tennessee and Alabama and Georgia was pretty.
Snooze fest.
Yeah,
Dude, we were
milquetoast.
boring.
Yeah.
Boring
Snooze fest.
AF, as the young kids would say. So yeah, it's nice that would be an awesome uni matchup.
For sure.
Yeah.
Dude.
That'd be incredible.
All right, Malcolm. I
Let's hear it.
really, to be honest, I want to see yours.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm really excited to see Malcolm's bracket.
We'll get you back in a second. We have a brand new sponsor here on Chatted Up Sports, Steel City brand and the perfect tee. My gosh, guys, these are wonderful. We got these new custom hats. I'm bringing this bad boy in. This thing is sweet. I'm actually not gonna lie to you. From the picture, I was like, man, it looks pretty nice. You know, it's gonna be like a jean jacket, a little Canadian tuxedo, if you will. It is not, my friends. This thing is amazing. Walked around in this bad boy with my beautiful little girl today. So fantastic stuff. I'll tell you what, Steel City is all around the country. It ain't just there in Pittsburgh. If you want vintage sports tees to iconic Berg designs, I'll tell you what, these are the guys to get to. And check out the website at steelcitybrand.com. Type in promo code ChatItUp15 to get 15% off. And we'll take care of you. Great tees, I'm telling you, all around. Like if you want the Steel City logos, perfect tees, or just simple all-around wears for the summer, I'm telling you, this is the best. Cool, off-kilter colors, the best. SteelCityBrand.com. ChatItUp15 for 15% off.
All right, pull it on up then. Let's talk
got
about
you.
it. Let me flip my hat to the front.
All right, you see, you
All
good?
right, fellas. This is my bracket.
I hope this plays out. I mean, I'm just
Be a lot of
And
fun.
I know it is absurd, but let's walk through these matchups. 12-5. I think Clemson obviously is going to be great. I agree with you, Chase, but this Memphis team is going to be scrappy. This is going to be close. I think Memphis could run the table, but they're not. So I have them advancing to the next round. Notre Dame and Colorado. I think Notre Dame's going to take a step back. That's just me. They're going to play great defensively. I don't know why. I just believe in Colorado. I do think that they're getting better as a team. There's a lot of talent and a lot of transfer talent. There's a lot of speed, wide receiver. There's a lot of just good to like defensively. I think that they will be better than they were last year, even without Shador and Travis. Now, as you guys notice, this is a common theme. I have an upset that is just crazy.
I love it.
I think that South Carolina potentially is going to have a Heisman Trophy winner. And this is all, of course, if Lenore Sellers stays upright and fully healthy. But give me South Carolina to upset the Oregon Ducks.
Do it,
I'm
buddy.
just going to go out and say it. I just think that it is going to be one of those thriller games. I think Oregon's going to do everything right. I just think that this is going to be almost like a Heisman moment type of deal for Sellers. And then you have the Old Faithful. The only reason I chose Tennessee, yes, they're going to drop a game or two, but defensively, this is going to be a top 10 unit. I think they have one of the best, if not the best secondary. If Jermod McCoy comes back fully healthy, I love Tennessee defensively. And Josh Heupel is the quarterback whisperer. The schedule is great. If you guys have noticed, he's played with a redshirt freshman last year, Nico, who missed so many. I mean, at least 10 touchdown passes. I was there for half the season in person and saw it. And then the year before, it was Joe Milton, right? And he could just not get a handle on the offense. And he even looked serviceable, almost had 20 touchdown passes. I think he even eclipsed it.
Yep.
So I think if you get Joey Aguilar, who has literally leads the FBS in passing yards actively right now in terms of per game, I'm not saying Tennessee is going to light it up, but I think Tennessee is going to make a case. And I have Tennessee avenging a loss in Tuscaloosa this year, going up against the Crimson Tide. So I have Tennessee advancing and making Ohio State for a rematch. Ohio State is going to show why they are Ohio State. I believe if number 4 is on the football field at all times, they will not lose a game. And I truly just believe that. And there's going to take a special team to beat them, which we'll get into later. Penn State, I do not believe in one bit. I don't. I think they are going to be fool's gold throughout the season. They're going to meet a red-hot South Carolina team, and they're going to absolutely get the coins knocked out of them. And people are going to look at James Franklin like it's Brian Kelly North. And if you notice, LSU did not make my top 12 because it's Brian Kelly. Texas is going to show why they are truly best in class, and they're going to give a master class to Colorado. Georgia is also going to show those teeth. I love Clemson, but I talked about it. Kirby smells blood in the water. People are closing that gap to Georgia, and I think that he is going to make sure that he puts people on notice and why Georgia is Georgia. You're going to go to another rematch, Georgia and Texas. Again, Arch Manning, I saw it. I've seen the matchup. I saw him look like a deer in headlights. Give me the Bulldogs. Yeah, you've seen it. Give me the Bulldogs.
I looked at it the other day. I don't see to interrupt you. Like, it's just sort of like I looked at that the other day and I was like, man, that could wind up being one of the most iconic pictures of all time. Especially like if something like this keeps happening every year where Georgia gets them.
For sure. And I just, dude, they're just fast, physical, relentless, and I think they're just going to be better. South Carolina is my Cinderella here, but the Cinderella story ends. I just think that Ohio State's going to be too much. I think they're really, really, really talented. I do. And I think we're going to have a rematch from New Year's a few years ago with Georgia and Ohio State going to the national title. And I know I talk about Jeremiah Smith. If there's one person that can shut him down, if there's one person that can take number 4 out of the game, it's somebody who did it to a star Ohio State wide receiver a couple years ago, Marvin Harrison Jr., and that is Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. I have them winning the national championship.
I love everything about it.
No notes, huh?
Fully biased. I love everything about it. I hope it
Put
plays
it,
out
put
exactly
it away,
like this.
Joseph.
Okay, I'm just kidding. I will say there is a fun video, fun for Georgia fans, of Ellis Robinson, sorry, and Jeremiah Smith at the same next 100 camp or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Ellis got him.
Ellis
got him, dog. But he's still the best wide receiver in college football. So.
Yeah. It's funny the way people talk about him too, like how he is
insane.
Like everybody's like, well, remember when we talked about how Marv could be like the best we've ever seen?
Yeah.
Prospect boss.
Yeah.
Now they're like, Jeremiah Smith will be like way better.
It took like a year.
Yeah.
Not even 6 months for that to go away.
Yeah.
When Jeremiah Smith started taking snaps for Ohio State. I mean, dude, if he would have got drafted last year in the first round.
Yeah.
If he would have been able to play.
Yeah.
He'd be a first round receiver now.
He went to wide receiver U and is clearly better than most of the people who have been through wide receiver U.
Yeah.
He makes Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson look not average, but just good. Like they're just good. Yeah.
He's incredible.
And those guys are awesome.
Right?
He's a special talent. He's a special talent. Like if I'm him, I'm pulling a Jamar Chase next year. Specifically, if I win a national championship or a Heisman Trophy, there's no way I'm suiting up for Ohio State unless the money is just too good to refuse. Like I literally would sit out and just prepare for the NFL draft.
I didn't realize he was number 2 in NIL.
Jeremiah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was like, oh, they'll pay one of the quarterbacks. But yeah.
Oh no, dude. He's raking it.
He's on the cover, dude.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. Could have been on the cover last year, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Would have been a safe bet.
Yeah.
Easy, bro.
If they hadn't, They did go 1 for 3 with that cover. It's a little
Yeah,
weird,
they
huh?
really did,
Yeah.
man. That cover last year.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like it's not a curse because like
Right, the
Travis
Madden-
was great.
Yeah, the Madden curse. That's what they say. You get put on the Madden cover.
Because who was it? It was Quinn,
Travis,
Travis, and
Donovan Edwards.
Donovan Edwards.
The
Yeah,
Michigan
Donovan
quarterback.
Edwards was just like non-existent last year.
Yeah, he got caught in the slog that was the Michigan
Yeah,
offense
that's
last year.
true.
That
Michigan
couldn't
was
help
just-
them. Yeah.
Yeah, Michigan was just bad last year, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
But this year,
offensively, they were just bad last year.
putting
So
Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith on the cover,
you can't go.
two pretty safe bets unless they get hurt. I mean,
Yeah. Mickey, I have a couple things about yours.
Yes, sir.
The one thing that makes me like intrigued about Colorado is like, I think with Shedeur and Travis out, it does bring them back, and especially, and I don't mean to like use the story as a bad thing, but honestly, like with Deion going through what he's going through, he doesn't really. It's going to be hard to like villainize him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this
Yeah.
year, like
Yeah.
you kind of only want them to do good, and doing good doesn't, as far as like good feel good stories, last for a week or so, but they aren't every week. Like villainization actually like makes you in the stories. That's why they were so good there for the longest time. Like as far as being game day and all this stuff, like they're beating like mediocre teams at the time. You're like, well, okay, but like he was arrogant villain, but now it's like they might just be pushed back a little bit in the media draw and still be pretty damn good and keep winning. You think that helps
Easily.
them a lot?
And yeah, for sure. No, I think you made a fantastic point just now, CG. Like they are going to be kind of going from this villain to this hero role. And also, when I look around the conference, not much scares me. I think they can be in every single game that they want to be in. Like honestly, and I think now what you saw a lot last year is, of course, the offensive line. Shador was under duress. I think that you bring in, your quarterback, and I think that yes, I know what happened. He lost to Kennesaw State, but Caden Salter can play football. That's not a question to me. I know he can, and you have the best insurance policy. I think Juju behind him is going to be a sensational talent. I think this offensive line is getting better. You have star power throughout. I just think guys have to do their job, and they have to fully commit to being great. And I think that a coach like, primetime Deion Sanders, he can motivate guys. And I think now, you guys I don't know if you guys played like Little League football, but I played a lot of football until I was, right around high school. And I played with a lot of football teams, and the coach's son was on it. And like, love the coach's son, but it almost takes away from the team because it's just like, I'm going to cater to my son. And now it's like you take basically two sons out of the program. You have to be a football coach now. And I think that's going to help the overall program take that next step forward, if that makes sense.
Yeah, especially because don't you feel like Prime's a prove it to me guy? And I think those
Yeah.
guys, they proved it. Like, don't get me wrong, they were the two most NFL talent guys you had coming into last year, but they did not have to like prove it. Now this whole new team that's not his blood relatives, or Travis being what was basically your blood relative, everybody's like on the same page of like, dude, we all got to elevate. They're all scared for their jobs. That's my feeling of,
Yeah.
and that adds like this good feeling in a competitive atmosphere. I think, like, especially when you have true blue, alpha dogs, super athletes, college kids, like that adds a really great reflection onto them of like, all right, we got to fight for this. This might be different. Like, we got to be a good team. And dude, there's a reason the Big 12 is as wide the open as it is.
It is wide open. Like I wouldn't make this pick unless I felt confident. And the Big 12 is wide open for the taking. And I think that they can do it. But it really does fall on one person. Is Caden Salter what I think he is? And I think he is incredible. I could look back at this tape in 6 months and be like, dude, we need to drug test Malcolm Harris. But also I could look like a genius. Everybody looked at me crazy when I said that Colorado would win 9 games last year. They freaking won 9 games last year. Low key should have won 10 if there was just a better offensive line. I mean, they were on the cusp of a college football playoff berth last year, and they had a really bad roster.
Yeah.
So
BYU got him. Big Y, you got it.
That's me.
All right, young Drew. The finale. Finish us out, buddy.
Whew. All right. As soon as I saw the text come through last night, I dropped my Michelob Ultra. I immediately started going to work and figuring out how I could get all 12 of these teams in one bracket. And I figured it out thanks to our lovely friends at Oklahoma. They are the linchpin to this whole thing. I don't care what Oklahoma does this year, but they have to beat Texas in the Red River rivalry. Wow, excuse me.
It's a tough one. It
Yeah,
is.
that's a mouthful. Red River shootout. There you
It's
go.
easy to
Yeah,
say. It's
shootout.
just better.
Whew.
It's just better.
I don't even think I got
Everything
through the second R there on rivalry,
Yeah.
even the second time around.
else. No, just
All right.
rrr.
We
So-
got.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm gonna take you through the bracket, but what I wanted to do with mine is I think we talked a lot about these teams over the past. It's well documented how I feel about most of these teams. So I'm not really going to talk about teams. I just kind of want to talk about the schedules and how this all is going to kind of get together and work. And I'm going to take you to the movie Cars, where we have the King, Chick Hicks, and Lightning McQueen, all undefeated, are going to be Alabama, Penn State, and Clemson.
Undefeated?
Undefeated. That's the
Wow.
I
only,
have not heard one person tell me there's going to be more than one team.
it's the only way this works. I can't.
It
I
can
can't
happen.
I can't make it work any other way. So Alabama is going to run the table in the SEC. They're going to beat LSU twice. Okay. Notre Dame is going to lose week 1 at Miami. That's the only loss Notre Dame's going to have all year. Of course, they don't play a conference championships. They're going 11-1, and we've seen time and time again, why the hell is Notre Dame at number 4? Well, I'll tell you why, because they lost week 1. They won 11 straight. Notre Dame's going to make it to 4. LSU will go to 5 because they have 2 losses. If it was any other team except Notre Dame, I would not feel comfortable doing this. But because it's Notre Dame, I think I'm a big fan in what they're building there. I'm not crazy about CJ Carr, which is why I think I'm going to have them drop the first one to Miami. I think Miami's going to be one of those teams who can beat anybody on any given week, but can also drop. I think that's kind of where I've settled on them. They can drop at any time.
That's just what Miami is.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just
right.
Miami.
Right.
They have
Well, that's
more-
what crystal
more
ball
eyes
teams
on.
are.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
Right.
hey, you're really good. You're going to randomly drop a game.
So I like everything that was said about Colorado, and that's why they're here.
bring them back, buddy.
I have a few points on Colorado to add. One, I think the media in the offseason was higher on Colorado than they were in the regular season last year. Like, I saw so much Deion, Shadur, Travis content compared to the rest of college football last year. Like, in the summer, like there was I've never seen anything like it. There was so much content coming out of Boulder, and it kind of feels like that's dampened a little bit. And I think
For sure.
I don't know this for sure, but I think Deion's going to kind of be one of those coaches who does his best work when the lights are not exactly the brightest. I think he's going to be that. And here's what I want to see from Deion this year, because I watched him last year. A lot of coaching blunders, and that's understandable. He's a second-year head coach. He was at Jackson State. He had coached in the high school level. Well, now it's big boy time, and I think he is well equipped for it. But I'm going to specifically talk about their first game of the year versus North Dakota State, where Deion Sanders threw the ball when North Dakota State had one timeout with 1:40 left. He threw it twice in 3 downs, and they didn't complete either pass. That's what I want to see from Deion this year. I want to see improvement. I think Caden Salter is going to be just fine in the Big 12. If he was in the Big 10 or the SEC,
It would be bad.
yeah. But I think he's going to be at home. I'm glad also that I've Jedi mind tricked everybody else off of Arizona State. I feel like you guys feel bad if you were to pick Arizona State this year. I didn't see one person with them, so I'm just going to assume that's my work.
I mean, if we're being honest, I have Arizona State at like 10-2. So I don't think they're going to be bad. I actually think they're going to be pretty good. But I think 10-2 in the Big 12 isn't going to get you in.
Yeah.
As like a non-champion.
I agree.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. Like, because I wanted to put Arizona State in, but looking at the way that they won last year, I think some of those games could go against them this year, even with all they have coming back. And I just think the Big 12 is not going to get 2 teams in.
No.
Agreed.
So
They'd have to win the conference. I think
yeah,
to get
they'd
in.
have to win the conference.
So we'll go to Texas. Texas, I have losing to Ohio State, and then I've got them dropping to Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout. And I believe that there is a way that this works out with tiebreakers. Now, I'm not an expert on SEC tiebreakers, so I think LSU would get the nod here. But again, I don't know. So that is a linchpin in this whole thing. So if you want to pick this apart, you're welcome to do it. I'm sure nobody cares that much.
Dude, this is just
Right.
for fun. Yeah.
Next,
we're having fun here.
Illinois. They're going to lose to Ohio State in the regular season. They're going to go 11-1, and they will be in the conference championship versus Penn State.
Okay.
I like Illinois. I don't know if they're that good. They could definitely miss, but we'll move to Georgia. Georgia will lose to Alabama and Texas. They'll miss the conference championship. They'll be a solid 10-2 at the 9 seed. The reason I have Illinois over Georgia in the seeding, although I don't know what the committee's going to do with somebody who made the conference championship versus a powerhouse like Georgia. So we'll see there.
I could see not to get you off your tangent, but I could see Illinois being that like 7 or 8 seed going into conference championship week, and if they lose, it's like, hey, you're not going to get punished extra,
right?
For playing an extra game.
And I'd be okay even with flip flopping these two because it doesn't change the matchup. Georgia could still advance.
Well, I mean, it changes who plays at home,
right? So definitely.
Dude, you don't want to mess with Champaign, baby.
Like
Champaign, Illinois versus Athens.
I mean.
Oh man! All right, Ohio State is going to lose to Penn State and Michigan, and yeah, Michigan is going to struggle. But I'll be honest. You said James Franklin's got to show you. Ohio State now has to show me. They got to beat Michigan. Michigan's got the mental edge.
James in Ann Arbor.
I honestly, that's my first thought. That's who I have them losing to.
Games in Ann Arbor. So
this is, man, this is the year of the coaches that don't get it done are going to get it done. Next, Florida at 11. Florida's going to lose to LSU, Texas, and Georgia. And because all 3 of those teams are in the college football playoff in my version of the bracket, I think this is going to be a very good litmus test for the committee on what are we going to do? Because there are going to be 2 lost teams from the Big 12, from the Big 10, from the SEC, who you could put in over Florida just based on record alone. But if Florida takes care of business elsewhere, they're still winning some pretty good, damn good games, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like they're beating Tennessee, they're beating Ole Miss, they're beating Miami. Man, that's
beating A&M.
Right, they're beating A&M. That's more than most teams on this list will have to show for themselves. A huge litmus test. I'm excited to see it. If Lagway gets hurt, they go 4-8. Next, group of 5. We have the University of Texas, El Paso.
Okay.
Did they name their starting quarterback today?
Malachi Nelson.
I don't know.
From USC?
Yeah,
It has officially been named while we were on the show.
They named him? Okay, because I saw the social media post today. Okay, cool. So, Malachi Nelson, the number 1 recruit in his class. Look, he looks like Jordan Poole when he went to the Wizards. If you've seen the picture of him, Malcolm, did you see the social post where he was launched? Man, he looks like he looks like he's been through some stuff. But look, Shane Waldron is 34 years old. There's some young energy with this team. Malachi Nelson, for some reason, at one point was deemed to be better than every other college quarterback in the land coming in. He was coming out of high school. He was.
Can you quickly pull up his draft class or his his
please do
recruiting class?
Yeah, because he went to USC, then he transferred to Boise State. It didn't work out either place. I'll keep going while you pull that up. They have 60% returning production to a team that went 3-9. So there's some
good.
there's some improvement to be had there, but they do have the number 1 recruiting class in all of Conference USA. They have the number 5 recruiting class in all of G5. They are bringing in the second most 3-stars in G5, and they're going to the Mountain West in 2026, 2027. They were somewhat competitive because if you pull up their schedule, it doesn't really look like it, but they were somewhat competitive. So here's what's going to happen. Memphis is going to lose to Arkansas because Sam Pittman cannot afford to lose that game. Arkansas' schedule is tough enough. They have to win that game. Memphis is going to drop another game somewhere else. That puts them at 10-2. Boom. Boise State is going to lose to Notre Dame, and Boise State almost lost to Wyoming last year, gentlemen. I don't know if anybody else watched that game. Yes. It was tough for Boise State to get the job done. They're going to lose somewhere else. That puts them at 10-2. James Madison is the Sun Belt favorite and the only other team that I considered for this. James Madison plays Louisville and Liberty on the road back-to-back in weeks 2 and 3.
Can't do it.
No way. Or excuse me, weeks 2 and 4. No way. No way. I mean, I do like James Madison. I think they've done very well to stay on their feet, losing Signetti. But when I look at this as a whole, and the thing that's going to make me the most money, the Miners are in, baby. So let's get to the bracket. LSU, they're going to destroy UTEP. It's not even going to be close. Not even worth talking about.
All that time.
Yeah, it's not even worth talking about. Georgia, boom, get out of here, Illinois. And then Coach Prime at home will welcome the Gators to a watery death. We'll take Ohio State over Texas because
Wouldn't that be like an altitude death?
sure,
Yeah.
why not?
You're gonna drop the Gators out of a plane or something.
Sure, why
Gators
not?
can't survive at altitude.
Games in Boulder, like
Yeah.
Sure. Ohio State mental edge over Texas. Jack Sawyer PTSD flashbacks for the Longhorns. I've got them moving on. We move on to round 2. Notre Dame in the 4-5 matchup up top, the Brian Kelly Bowl, as some will call it. I promise I didn't do this on purpose. Give me LSU. Brian Kelly defeats all of his demons and takes down Notre Dame. Once and for all, Brian Kelly proves that he can do it. I have Georgia taking down Alabama until the next round, or excuse me, Alabama taking down Georgia until the next round where Alabama defeats LSU in the quarterfinals. At the bottom of the bracket, Clemson, I think, is going to have no problem with Colorado. As much of a fun story as I want Colorado to be, the talent disparity being in the somewhat real, somewhat fake Death Valley, you be the call where your fandom goes to. Probably the real
We'll
Death
know
Valley.
week 1.
Yeah, we'll know.
we will know, at least for this year.
The talent gap there is going to be too big. Florida getting in here is kind of the perfect team for Colorado to play because they are so dependent on DJ Lagway. Give me Clemson. And finally, James Franklin will beat Ohio State in the second round and then immediately lose to Clemson. So where does that leave us? That leaves us with a Clemson and Alabama national championship.
Here we are again.
And just like the mid-2010s,
And the late 2010s, and right at the start of the 2020s.
yeah, Alabama's going to get the job done. And that one will break viewership records. I think, Chase, you had that as well. I think it's the only logical place where this game goes in my mind. The only other thing that I really, really tossed and turned with was that Clemson will be at Happy Valley, and I think that will be – or no, they won't. Excuse me.
No, that'll be a
Yep,
neutral site.
excuse me.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
But I did toss and turn a lot with that game. I really wanted James Franklin to get through. I think Dabo's experience and know-how will win out there. Thoughts?
I love,
I love it.
dude.
I mean, it just winds up the same way as mine.
It's going to be the Florida Colorado would be wild, and I would love to see that matchup. I don't know if I'm with you on Colorado beating Florida, but I still think it'd be a very, very fun game.
I think it'd be very tough for Florida to win there on the road,
Winning at Boulder would be
especially if Florida's banged up at all, because basically what they have to do is Florida has to win every game after Georgia. So
Mhm.
so if that's the case, then Florida's going to be going through a lot of tough opponents. But I think they can get there. I think they are good enough. I think DJ Lagway is good enough. But the biggest problem is if they start dropping any guys, I mean, comparatively, I mean I think that's just going to show that much more on the road.
and then the Brian Kelly Bowl would just be electric.
Electric.
That would be
Now I didn't do
for
it
the
on
ages.
purpose, but that would be the game that I would hate watch the most.
That would be such a great primetime game, though.
oh, dude, it'd be
They'd put that
phenomenal.
on it, yeah.
Phenomenal. To touch on UTEP real quick, Malachi Nelson was the number 5 overall quarterback in the 2023
number 5.
class. That's
Okay.
according to 247.
Okay.
He was number 2 in his state, California. You know who he was behind?
He was behind Nico.
He was behind
Nico.
Nico
Yeah.
Iamaleava. Yep.
He was behind
Who's
Nico.
You know who the number 1 quarterback in that class was?
Was it Arch?
Arch.
It was Arch Manning.
Which at the time, now I'm wholeheartedly believing in it because I don't like Nico anymore. But at the time, I was like, well, Nico's better. I was doing the whole thing.
Yeah, you got to fan cope. We've
Yeah,
all done
fan
it.
cope.
We've all done it. So
I also real quick, and
Uh-huh.
not that this matters at all, but I did want to say that UTEP's schedule is pretty easy. They're gonna lose to Texas for sure. Like
yeah,
no doubt about it, 100%.
Yeah.
If they beat Utah State week 1, there's a chance. It's at
Watch
Utah
out.
State, but this is Utah State.
Watch out.
But the biggest thing for me when I was reviewing this is that all of their hard Conference USA games are at home. and all of their difficult ones are on the road. They take on the road. They take on Delaware and Missouri State, who are the two newest entrants into FBS. So who the hell knows what's going to happen there?
Dubs.
Right. They take on Sam Houston, who was awful last year.
Atrocious.
They take on Kennesaw State, who was awful last year. And then they take on Utah State and Texas. So there are two non-conference games, being on the road. Yeah, that's difficult. But then at home, they get the cream of the crop of the Conference USA. They get Louisiana Tech, they get Liberty, they get UL Monroe, they get UT Martin, which is an FCS opponent, they get Jacksonville State, and they get New Mexico State. I think if it were to align for a team, it would align for them. Not that this is my you need to go buy some UTEP stock like I did. You don't need to go bet.
Oh, you bought you
Like I
stock.
did.
Oh.
Do as I say.
Throw
not-
that little nugget in there, like I did,
10 to win 3,000.
on them to make the playoff.
Mhm.
I'm doing that. Heck yeah.
Man, hell yeah. I'm about to
That
throw a
would be
hundo.
really- Dude, I don't know, man. You might lose that by the time September's over.
Sure, I'll lose it by August 30th if they lose their first
Well,
game.
if
It'll
you-
be
Oh, yeah,
over.
okay.
Yeah, I'll know.
It'll
Yeah.
be over. It'll be
Yeah.
over.
Well, if you've seen my VGT right now, I've lost over $10 in the last month. So
Oh, okay.
my retarement's not going great either. So
Oh, well,
Big
you know
big-
what, man? It's $10.
it's $10.
$10. So
This one I got a shot in, and I'm going to watch.
yeah, and it's entertainment. It's fun. That's what this is at the end of the day.
I
So,
believe in it.
boys, that's our brackets.
It's our brackets.
We had one thing left on the docket for today's episode.
You want to go fast?
Make it real fast.
Because we are so close.
We're gonna pick Heisman winners, and it's just gonna be shooting from the hip. Not a whole lot of emphasis, but I do have a nugget for you guys about Heisman.
Yeah.
About something that's interesting. So, but I want to go last for my
Okay.
Heisman winner. So
I want to go.
let's start in reverse order. Yeah, Drew, you go
No,
first.
I want to go next to last.
Oh, god dang
yeah.
it!
Let Chase or
Malcolm?
Miggy go first.
I'll start.
Go ahead,
Go, Malcolm.
and I'll go.
Run it.
We're going to have the first defensive Heisman. Technically, I don't count Travis as fully defensive. This guy is going to be the first fully defensive Heisman Trophy winner we've had since Charles Woodson. And his name is Caleb Downs, the best safety I've seen since Tyrann Mathieu. He's going to win the Heisman Trophy.
All right.
I love that. I thought about it, actually. I think he could be awesome.
Oh, he'll be incredible.
If he's got so many teams he could play against and dominate.
He is so good. Every
believe
set,
me?
every level, so good.
Would you believe me if I told you Joey Aguilar had better Heisman odds than Caleb Downs?
I mean,
Probably.
Joey's going to put that thing up there, though.
Imagine if he connected on those wide open passes that Heupel gets you.
Listen, that's my quarterback until otherwise stated, man.
I'm starting to believe again. Irrationally, I have nothing backing it because I hated him like 12 hours ago.
Any
Caleb Downs is going off on FanDuel at plus 18,000.
interest in a Nico plus 7,500 Heisman pick?
Thought about it, not really.
Throw your money away.
Not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
I can go next. I'm ready now.
All right, Joe.
Yeah.
You're ready.
I'm ready. My Heisman for the 2025 awards ceremony, taking into account my conference champions, taking into account my college football playoff bracket, and the national championship, is DJ Lagway. If Florida gets to 9-3 and Lagway is just like the only reason that they do it, it would definitely still be a long shot. But if Florida's any better than 9-3, you can go ahead and give him that thing. Like if they're 10-2, 11-1, there's only one reason and one reason alone, and it's because this dude has put up one of the greatest college football seasons we've ever seen. And for that reason, because I like him, because I'm high on him, I'd rather back him on the Heisman Trophy. Any dark horse love for Jackson Arnold at plus 4,000?
No.
That's not dark enough of a horse for me, dude. Like, I'd be sitting at maybe plus 45,000.
What's the brightness level 0?
Yeah,
on that one?
yeah, that one's out.
He's better Heisman odds than Dylan Raiola.
That's
That
crazy.
surprised me.
That's-
I'm looking at all the books right now. I've got them all pulled up.
That's hard for me to believe. All right, Chase.
All right. I hate to do it. I'm gonna be super chalk though, but give me Cade. If you're gonna go off my playoff, if Clemson is the 1 seed and if Clemson's undefeated, Cade Klubnik's balled the f- out, dude. That guy has balled. Nobody's dropped it. That dude has balled the fuck out, dude. It's been
That's
incredible.
our one.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yes,
I never
sir.
use it. Yeah,
Well used.
I never use it, so yeah,
Well timed.
yeah.
Well timed. I love
nobody
it.
ever uses it, so I
I
get to
love
use it. Yeah, he's got to be special. He'll
Mhm.
probably lead either in touchdowns or which that's hard to do. I feel like there's always some random Big 12 guy or, P5 guy. Like there's always something. Yeah.
Somebody from Liberty per se.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's hard to do, but he might lead that or close to it and be special. And he's going to have to dice up the two bookend like SEC teams. I think that's going to have to happen. Like those will be, if they're undefeated going against South Carolina and Sellers and them are sniffing it, you're like, I can create some scenarios to get them in, especially like if you have like looking at Miggy's bracket, like if they're on that cusp, God, that Clemson South Carolina game is going to be huge. Epic. And you're going to get that matchup. And if all this winds up, we're going to have a really fun quarterback year, even amongst the unknown right now. So give me Cade. It's super boring, I know, but if you're going to we'll go off my scenario that we just preached about for an hour and 5 minutes, then yeah. All right, Joseph, give me some nuggets and give me your final pick here.
Yeah, so my initial pick, man, I really wanted to pick Lenore Sellers for this. I didn't, but I really wanted to, and I'll tell you why I didn't. So obviously Travis Hunter won the Heisman last year with multiple losses on the Colorado team, but Travis Hunter was a total unicorn, playing both sides of the ball. It was unprecedented. Lenore isn't going to have that chip that he can play both sides of the ball. He's just going to be a really good quarterback. Yeah. So I got to think to myself, what was the last quarterback with like multiple losses that won a Heisman? Lamar Jackson, 2016. Then I looked at Lamar's stats, and I realized I don't know if Lenoris is going to be quite that good. Lamar was obviously the leading passer for his team. He was the leading rusher for 10 of 12 games. So, yeah. I kind of backed off the Lenoris pick a little bit after that, and I ultimately ended up going with a safe and lame pick, and I'm with Chase. With my bracket playing out the way it is, I think it's Cade. I think Cade Klubnik's going to be I think Clemson's going to be really good this year. I think Cade's going to have a really good year, year 3 with Garrett Riley. I think the receivers are going to be pretty legit, and I worry about them at running back because I think they're going to be starting a true freshman running back. His name's escaped me, but if they're starting a true freshman running back, I think that's early on in the season more emphasis on Cade and those receivers being really good.
Yes.
So it could lead to Cade putting up some kind of stupid numbers. So I went with Cade. Obviously the favorite is Arch here. I think Arch could get it with like less stats than some of these other quarterbacks.
I think he's going to have more punch-in touchdowns, don't you guys?
Arch? Yeah. I think they'll run him more than Clemson will run Cade. So, I think Arch could be. Go ahead.
I said I disagree with that. I think you have to protect your investment. I think they're going to tell him. I don't know if y'all saw the quote. His grandfather, every time he hangs up, says, "Get down and get out of bounds." That's how they end every single conversation.
Yeah,
and that's great. But Archie Manning's not calling plays. And they ran Arch last year, brought him in to run him almost exclusively at times, knowing that they were building towards this year with him. So
I just do not see you putting him in those positions, knowing what you got behind him. Because I'm telling you, all brackets are screwed. If he is out for 4 to 6 weeks with a shoulder, a torn whatever, or something crazy that's lingering, Texas is finished.
I'm not saying they're going to run him like a lot, but I think they'll run him more than Clemson will run Cade Klubnik.
Yeah, and Cade's just too small. Here's the thing about Arch. Arch does have a big body, and he has a little bit of that Tebow, and he wants to hit you.
He's big, dude. He plays big.
We love that contact, don't we, Petey? You know, a little bit of that contact. I remember the Titans.
Contact, boy.
Oh, you about broke the mic.
Yeah. It's the best, dude. Oh, man. Great show, boys. Lock it in.
Show.
Is that under an hour 10? Is that what I'm
under an hour 10?
Wow.
Yep. We got in, we gave them our picks, and we're getting out.
Good job, gentlemen.
I'm proud of us. Like, subscribe everywhere. Much love to everybody on a Feel Good Friday. We are so back. College football week 0. Enjoy it. This is your pregame. It's your preseason. Earn it this weekend. Much love. We out.